Testing. Let's test this out. This will be my first YouTube video. See how it works out. So, anyway, the reason for this video today is because of this table saw. This is the DWE7491, and I ordered a fence from Amazon. I tried to order one before, but it was going to take way too long for it to get here. That I continued to use my fence because I could still get straight cuts. I did have an issue with my table saw a week ago, and I actually had to reposition the blade and align it and fix it. And I had to align the tabletop, which meant my fence was off a little bit, so I went ahead and ordered the fence because I knew I was going to spend a couple days fixing the table saw and I could wait for the fence to come in. So I ordered the fence, and what arrived was not what I expected. It does fit my table saw, but it actually doesn't. It's not for a table saw, and you can't actually find one. Maybe on the DWE store, you can go there and you can find the actual one. But for this table saw, you have complete metal suspension, 90 degrees, that runs along 2 thread screws on your slides. So when you do attach your table saw, not only is it attached to the front 2 screws, but it's also aligned by the 2 back screws kept square on your slides. So the new table saw I received was the bar aluminum, which looks like this, and the back, which comes out and folds down so you can have a flat surface. And these little guys right here that attach to your table saw. I'll show you a clip of it. Like this. That little clip goes in there and it attaches just like that on each side. Now these will work for your table saw, but the problem I face that is a tight push. That is with a loose table saw. Now if I take these off, it's a lot more free. I have a lot more room to run my slides. It does take tension on the slides, and it is not 100% 90 degrees. Your slides are probably 90 degrees, but if they're not, you should probably adjust them. So one thing I noticed is right off the bat, this aluminum square right here is actually the aluminum square that goes on this one. It does have the 4 holes on all sides, and it does have these 2 adjustments for this, but it does not have this center bar going down the middle, and it does not have these screw holes. So if this was removed and you were to take this, you were to push right in the middle, this whole bar would flex in. So if you were to have a piece of wood and you push on the fence, it would completely flex in the fence. So one of the solutions that I did, and I don't know how my camera's set up, but if you can see this, I'm going to get behind the camera. I actually put a piece of cherry inside the whole aluminum bar, and I left an 1/8 inch gap from end to end, so it is completely solid. On top of that, when I milled the cherry down, I left it less than a 1/16. So I used aluminum air duct tape and I ran a strip of air duct tape right down the center. So when I press this, it is completely solid. So there is no movement in this bar whatsoever. Also, with this cable slide, or cable fence, I ran into numerous issues of not being completely square. Now I do have a machine square. I'll bring the camera in a second. On most table saws, you'll have a gap right on top, on each side, all the way down the middle. That's this specific table saw. If you look it up, you'll have a gap. Your fence is not flush. So, an issue to solve it, to make it flush, was these. These are your best friends probably. In your shop, you probably want to have multiples of these. These are 0.48 millimeters thick. So it's the thinnest piece of metal I could find. And it's 0.48 all the way down, so it's pretty accurate. So, right here you can see, put a piece of metal right in here, and that pushed the front forward a 0.5 millimeter on each side. And this is the one I cut it off of. They have them 18 inches. These are actually really good to have, because something like a router table, you could use them as shims, and a flush trim bit with a bearing. You could level your fence with the bearing, remove them on one side, and then you can joint your piece of wood 0.5 millimeter and not lose much wood. That's a pro I found with these little shims. They have aluminum bars at the big box stores you could buy, and those are 16. Well, I like those, but to have 0.5 millimeter is pretty great. So, to sum it up, this is the old front bar, and the only reason it's the old one is because there's a little 90 right here. But this one is completely flat, so it was not able to attach. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. This one was dented. I bought this table saw maybe like 3 years ago, and within the first couple months I ran it too close to the saw, and I put this little groove in it. Although it was still accurate and I could run straight cuts, I just wanted a nice cleaner look and make sure I was actually running properly. So if you do upgrade on Amazon, it's probably not going to come with a center rod in here, so just be aware. I did order some hardwood, and I'm building a new project, so I was able to install hardwood in this metal rod to where it won't flex at all. And I have a perfectly square table saw with calipers, and everything works out. So hopefully it works out for you.